It's me, Keech. I'm going to be doing a breakdown of It's Pronounced Leaves by Bag Money, how the beat was made, and then bringing the buys in to break down how these rhymes came about. And then we'll show you the full song with this video. Yeah, so let's get right into it. I was peeping this little Vietnamese and Korean and Cambodian garage rock comp, and I found this little thing. Looped it up, added some effects. I didn't go crazy anything. It's just like this. I think part of what makes it sound different slightly is just that it's time stretched, but it's like sounds like a second delay on there or something. I remember when time stretching first came out, everybody was like, it sucks and it makes things sound bad. But now I think sometimes it makes them sound cool. Added this little garage band bass line. Again, with GarageBand, I'm a fan of these little synths they got on there and stuff. A lot of people are not. Affected that, made it sound cool. So here it is like this. Here's like the main loop and this synth. I started going in on these stabs. I'll show you these stabs I grabbed. Little horn thing. I made it like this. I have a folder called boings with things that are a boing sound, including this one. Boing, boing. Boing, boing. But that's like a literal boing. Also, I have some things like this. I think I originally grabbed this from a Japanese like soundtrack thing. This is kind of a boing. I had to get this boing popping off right, so I got it like this. Grabbed this other horn, affected it like that. I grabbed this organ, and sometimes I left it like exactly like that, and sometimes I did a weird one like this. I think this is the stab that's like the tightest one. This is from like one of these girl groups, but and then I made it like. Here's another hit. I've used that one a lot on a lot of different things. It's a good grunt type thing. And this one. So that's like my layers of different stabs. So I'll show you. So this is like the main loop, the bass line, and all the stabs. With drums, first I just took a bunch of individual hits, kicks, snares, crashes, hi-hats. Kept it real simple with like one layer of drums like this. And then I wanted to add like a break on top of that, but not like a breaky break. So I had this thing I was thinking about. I chopped that up a little and like left like mad spaces. Here's all the drums together. Now I'll play you this like a few bars of this full instrumental so you see how it ended up. Now I'm going to kick it over to this Bag Money interview I did to get the perspective on how they put it down with these rhymes, what they were thinking about. All right, here we go.
I remember sending Pete 4 bars, and I was like, I don't know if this is part of a verse yet or if it's a hook, but I've got these 4 lines. It's like, we go to task while they're asking Jeeves, all these maple motherfuckers mispronouncing leaves. If you give a man a fish, he gets a fish for free. But if you're staying home alone, I'm saying death wish 3. And he was like, hey, yo, that's cool, which Pete always does. He's always like, hey, that's great. So then I started writing, and I was like, I got to say, I almost missed this beat. This beat was at the end of the list. I think it was called Purple.
Yeah.
And it was when I first got all the beats, you sent a lot of beats, and Better Get the Butter was the first one. And I was stoked right away. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be great. And then, but because I was just listening on a laptop like this, there was no low end. So I was just kind of skipping through, and there was a lot of cool beats. And I was like, okay, that's fire. That's fire. Okay. And I was making a for sure list and a probably list. And I almost missed the beat for Leaves. So I just got to say, I'm glad I went back through and checked everything out. And then I was like, oh, wait, this is perfect. Because by then I think I was already writing it. What's it all mean? What's it about? The story started, it's pronounced Leaves. I used to work, I'm not really into sports, and I don't think Footbags is either, but it's cool that people are.
Not really.
I'm a firm believer that, everybody is into all sorts of different things. And I don't want to be the thief of joy that steals something away from people and is like, that's stupid, and you're stupid for liking that. I always say I accidentally ended up working in a hockey rink one time for 8 years. And it just happened. We got an OHL hockey league here in Kingston. It's called the Frontenacs. I don't know what it would be in America. It's probably the equivalent of the college league. I don't know how this stuff works.
I don't know if it's with all. I assume it's just with hockey, but there's no equivalent to how there's all these different leagues. Like there's like minor league baseball, but it's like a weird oddity. I don't think it's like you can like become the man in baseball by like being in the minor league. It's all Canadian.
It's basically, it's because Canada hockey's our big thing. We do basically have hockey minor leagues, and that's what the OHL is. And I think you've got it in the States too, but it's probably not as big.
Nobody cares.
There maybe New York State cares and stuff like that, but where it's cold, places cold. This is how I tell stories. This is how we tell stories in my family. So it works good in this setting, but it's terrible when you go to tell anyone anything else about anything, because it just takes forever. So in interviews or for writing, it's good, but
that's what we need.
That's what we need today in a podcast or in an interview type setting. Yeah. The point of the story is I'm closing up when we don't have this OHL, the France games on Fridays nights and Saturday afternoons. There's men's leagues. It's a bunch of men come and pay to play hockey in an arena. And I was always like, why do these guys take this so seriously? Like, they're not going anywhere with this. They get really worked up. And then I think about all the musicians I know that take this shit way too seriously. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's like, it's their thing. And that's what I'm talking about. Everybody's into all kinds of different things.
Right.
And you can do it for fun, or you can take it really seriously. So long story short, I'm mopping. We're about to close up the arena for the night. The last men's league, for some reason, there's always people wandering around because they wander in off the street to watch a free hockey game, right? I gotta say, senior citizen ladies love seeing a man my age mopping. It's like a talking dog to them. They don't know. They're like, man, don't do that. And so it always intrigues them. So this lady starts up a conversation because I'm mopping, and she says that what she thinks of to say is, do you know if the Leafs won tonight? The Leafs being the Maple Leafs, the Toronto Maple Leafs. And it took every bone in my body, every ounce of restraint not to say, lady, it's pronounced Leaves. And that always just kind of stuck with me. And then that's what, sometimes when I'm writing lyrics, I just think of dumb stuff I've said or attempts at humor. And then sometimes it'll be like a Facebook post memory that pops up, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember I wrote that thing. So that's where it started. So I was like, just writing, I was like, oh, these maple motherfuckers mispronouncing leaves. I'm like, well, what rhymes with leaves? Something that's got to go with that. Or go to task while you're asking Jeeves. Like, we're just going to work, but you're using like an outdated search engine to try to get these facts.
Right, right.
and to ask permission to get going, and we're already doing it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think part of the reason Pete and I have always worked together well, because the style of hip hop we grew up on, it's this style that it's like, we're doing our thing over here, you're all garbage. You know what I mean? It's that type
Yeah,
of snotty. It's that type of thing. So
exactly.
yeah,
If you were to actually tell this nice woman that it was pronounced leaves, do you think you would be sent to like an Ontario prison for a while or something?
I
Like I
think I no, I think she would get it, because she's probably of the generation where they care about grammar and had it
respect.
drilled into them in the 40s and 50s that you speak one way and not the other. And that's kind of the whole point of the song too. Is if you do something wrong for long enough, it just becomes normal. And if you have enough people doing something a wrong way or a different way, it's just becomes the norm and nobody thinks about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's no different than rappers being like, at some point along the way, he was like, oh, I'm going to be Footbags and people are going to call me Footbags. Or you were like, my name's Height now and people are going to call me Height. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a rapper and my name's going to be Grandpa. And I'm going to convince people to call me Grandpa. And then at some point along the way, that's all that strangers know you as. They don't know your real name. So at some point along the way, it works. And for me, the whole point of the song is the flip side is it's sort of a metaphor and analogy more and more with politics in general, or like ways of thinking. People like back a losing team or paint themselves into a corner, just being like, well, that's my thing. You know, that's my thing. And this is who I follow. And it's like, it just boggles my mind every year that people are like, this is the year we're going to win. I'm like, no, you're not going to win. And that's fine. If that's the thing you're into, it's fine. We saw it a lot with politics. You know what I mean? Like people are like, no, this is the party I support. And it's like, but the party you support isn't the same party. Like none of the parties aren't the parties that they started out doing. And the way I've been thinking about it is like, again, I'm not the thief of joy. And I don't often say I hate stuff because I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, but I don't like Motley Crue. You know what I mean? I don't
You
like
and me both.
I don't like when I was a kid, that like not just the music, but like the blatant stupidity that it encourages in people is just not my thing. And I think we can do better, but I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. But I get it. It's like if Motley Crue was your thing when you were young and you were partying and it was the 80s and you're like, Motley Crue, man, yeah. And it's like, I get that. You have an attachment to that and that's your thing. If Motley Crue go on tour this year and you cough up $200 to see Motley Crue, you're a sucker, because it's not the same thing and it's not good. If it was ever good and there was ever value in it. So I think like the idea of being able to like analyze things as they're coming and be like, you know what, I was into this, but I don't like the direction it's going anymore. And I should be, and just like with the political climate and stuff and everything that's happened in the past year, I was just kind of like, a lot of people need to give their head a shake and be able to admit when they're like, you know what, I'm backing a losing horse.
Well, I don't know enough about what's going on in hockey. Is it like
I know, no, neither do I. These are all just metaphors and analogies.
But I know the Be Rich line. If they make the playoffs, I'll fucking jump in the lake. But like, is it like they never like win?
The last time they won the Stanley Cup was like in the 60s or something.
Pathetic.
I think. I don't know. I'm not saying it's pathetic, but I'm just saying it's like Charlie Brown thinking he's going to kick the ball, and he's not. He's not going to kick the ball. He's not going to get to kick the ball, and that's okay. Maybe he doesn't need to kick the ball.
Wasn't there like a year or two not that long ago where they were actually kind of doing okay, and everyone was like, "Oh shit!"
Just feels like, and we've just completely pissed off all our. I'm sorry, we've completely pissed off all our Leafs friends right now. They know better than anyone. They know better than anyone, and they're like, but every year they're like, this is the year, and so it's not really picking on that. It's just kind of like, that's fine. Do your thing and own it. Everybody's doing their own thing and everybody should be able to, but we're over here doing our thing.
Yeah. I kind of settled on this little intro where the guys, the guy's saying like, "Don't nobody talk while I'm singing, or I might come out and slap you down." I feel like it's so fire that a guy actually said that on this live like jazz blues record that I found. Trying to look at different intros, and I was like going through old like hockey footage from like 50s and 60s. They're definitely saying Leafs back then. Like,
that's the name. That's the name.
yeah.
See, that's funny you say that, because I thought everybody's hearing everything differently. And I thought he says, nobody talk while I'm singing, or it might come out as sloppy now.
No, he's saying I might come out and slap you down.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I might come out and slap you down. Okay.
I don't know.
See, and that's the other reason I always hesitate to talk about lyrics or what the song means, because really it's just a bunch of stuff. Like,
oh, sure. Yeah.
We kind of come from the whole like abstract poetry way of things too. So I'm always like, I don't want to tell people what this song is about. That's just thoughts on it. It's not necessarily what it's about, because people should be able to draw their own whatever from it. Or if I wrote a graphic novel, I'd want people to read it. I wouldn't be like, well, here's this little sketch I did of it. Just check this out.
Absolutely. It's all just a jumping off point, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. With that said, how did you come on this one, Footbags? What were you thinking about?
JP, Grandpa had sent me the hook, and I think you had started sending me verses already too.
Yeah, I think
this was kind of in the point, like when we first started writing for this, he was getting these verses going real quick and sending them over. And when I was rifling through the beats and stuff and trying to get some, like I was in the mode. I was doing all this rap writing at the upstairs mezzanine at our local grocery store. I was trying to make a habit of just going, like finding a weird spot, go and park there and write some raps. And I picked it's like the second floor of this grocery store overlooking the produce section, where you can go. There was like a gym and the bathrooms are up there and all this stuff, but there was a little area with tables and you can just chill and sit.
It's fine.
So I'd go park there. I called it the rap mezzanine. Be like, I'm going to go hit up the rap mezzanine and work on these lyrics. And that was where I got probably half the songs on this record, this one included, were a bunch of little bits and pieces, little like 2 bars and this and that, and ideas that get started and wouldn't really go anywhere. And then I'd just stitch them all together, mixing in other stuff. I'd try and take a few of those and then mix in some stuff that was somewhat topical to the actual track going down.
Now you got the story on the beats, the story on the rhymes, and now let's check out the full deal.
Nobody talk while I'm singing, cause I might come out and slap you down.
Task while they're asking Jeeves. All these maple motherfuckers mispronouncing leaves. If you give a man a fish, he gets a fish for free. But if you're staying home alone, I'm saying Death Wish 3. Raise hell like it's tricky, man. I don't freestyle, I don't bump Dixieland. Young Indiana Jones, go blow your horn. All these friends gonna be Jimmy cause he could've sworn. I got a pile of different names, so I know what they know when I talk to lames. Screw these new kids, no more games. Called Salt twice, first time, different frames. Punk dad gonna craft your lands. Maybe it's got the band, so they rock the pants. Then come back diaper, Barney's mom. Child's boy's gonna take you to the prom. And other references that you will not get, and yet I never let them see me sweat. I'm the man that put the N in the ampersand. Roll over Beethoven in the camper van. We go to task while they're asking Jeeves. All these maple motherfuckers mispronouncing leaves. If you give a man a fish, he gets a fish for free. But if you're staying home alone, I'm saying Death Wish 3.
I get wise on the plate in the style of dub. 40 to the bags, never in the club. Unless we talking about that turkey on bread. Man, cram that shit right into my head. Ayo, enigmatic in these local parts. Cold brews on the roof while I'm hating on farts. Man, that ain't me. Chug like mad toots and a twist of green. Make raps cause I feel the need. Fuck a mixtape, fuck a scene. Not too much on the brag and boast. But if I was in Texas, I'd be big ass toast. A thistle don't prickle no bumblebee. If you're staying home alone, St. Kumo D. You better get the ready when it's time to shine. City boys to pounce non-stop, so don't scandalize mine.
We go to task while they're asking Jeeves. All these maple maple motherfuckers mispronouncing leaves. If you give a man a fish, he gets a fish for free. But if you're staying home alone,
Check.
I'm saying Death Wish 3. We go to task while they're asking Jeeves. All these maple motherfuckers mispronouncing leaves. If you give a man a fish, he gets a fish for free. But if you're staying home alone, I'm saying Death Wish 3.
That's the story of that one. Thank you guys for checking that out. Thanks again to the Bag Money guys for stopping by and breaking down all these songs. We're gonna be out of here. Peace.